Welcome to Crosby's Crew.
Welcome to Crosby's Crew, another episode. We have Will Blackmon joining our show, former teammates, wine MVP, Super Bowl champion, unfortunately not with the Green Bay Packers, but we'll get to that. And just all around awesome guy. We are going to dive into Blackmon Cellars as well, their wine label that we're going to enjoy a little bit of tonight. But like I do every episode, I will start off with a toast as we have a good friend, and drinking wine's about sharing memories, sharing moments, and enjoying it with people that you care about. So here's to the bonds that formed on the field, the stories we share over wine, and knowing the most valuable memories are still to come. Please welcome our wine MVP, Will Blackmon. Cheers.
Whoa!
This episode, we're going to go ahead and run down Will and Mason's bond as teammates and hear a little bit about how they have kind of a shared wine origin story like X-Men, basically, a special school at 1265 Lombardi. And then we're going to hear about how Will took that competitor focus, drive, and applied it. I mean, it really kind of started, I think, during your NFL career. So they were running concurrent, and now you're just all in, multi-hyphenate businessman, and we're drinking your wine with the two of you in California, and I'm in Tennessee. I'm not exactly sure how that happened. Bedtime was fun tonight, Mason. So let's just go ahead and dive in. So Will, you
Molly, can I hijack this for a second?
I would kind of like you did our Instagram live, which was awesome.
Can I want to know, I know you're losing your voice, Mason, but how did you get started? Please tell me the story ASAP. How did you get started with wine? I need to know.
Well, I don't know if we've actually talked about this. I think it was that 2008, 2009, Jacksonville. We were playing in Jacksonville. Charles Woodson, Nick Collins, I think Tremont came into Ruth's Chris. I was having dinner with my parents and one of their good friends. Some people didn't show up. We had a huge table, and y'all came and joined us for dinner. And Woodson starts ordering wine. And it was the first time I'd ever had any wine, more than some fruity wine in college. And he ordered Camus. Obviously, it's Charles Woodson, and he, is all everything on defense, doing his thing. And he has like a glass of wine the night before the game, and I'm like, all right, well, this is my new tradition. I'm gonna follow in those. It's like. And that makes you a great football player and get you, playing in this league for a long time. I'm in. And that kind of started our journey. It started kind of there with Camus. And then it's like, all right, let's find all the different types of wine we love and let's get our profile and what we're into. And that definitely got me started right there.
That's so funny. So not only did I hijack this podcast, but the DBs hijacked your dinner.
Y'all did. Oh man, I thought
so
I felt
funny.
so, and my parents' friend felt so awesome because it's like, y'all come in and it's like, yeah, y'all can sit at the bar. Like they didn't have a table, and he's like, obviously he was like, hey, I have room at my table. Come on, and so it made him feel like pretty big time to be able to welcome y'all to the table.
That's so funny. I remember. So that was 2008 because that was we had that weird season where we had like a couple losses in a row, and I remember Mike, for some reason, I think intentionally he had us stay in that terrible hotels. And I remember when we got to Jacksonville.
You're right.
And that was the crazy. I remember, I think it was John Jolly had his room looked like a crime scene. So they had to get him a different room. It was. And I just remember we had the team meeting and everyone was complaining about the hotels. And he's like, well, if y'all want a nice room, y'all need to win. He said, y'all need to win. Oh, exactly. That was so funny.
That's awesome. Taking it all the way back, 2008.
To that point, I think Mason was mostly still a rum and Coke guy. And I had waitressed in college at a really nice steak place. So I had some wine, a little bit of wine education. And Mason loved golf. Mason loved hunting. What else did you love at that time, Mason? I don't know, video games. And it was after that wine dinner.
Real exciting.
That we suddenly had something.
You were a Green Bay Packer. I mean, by all means, those are the key things you need to do.
I know she's really
there.
like down.
Yes.
She's downplaying my. What were you
But
into?
I'm just saying,
You were
he came
pretty
home
lame.
from the dinner. He came home from the dinner and he was like, I like wine and steak together. And I was like, this is amazing. We can have wine like together now. And then a few years later, when Mason had kind of a rough season, I thought that we were focusing too much on what was going wrong. So I went and tracked down that wine that you guys had at that dinner that night. And I said, the next time you kick a game winner, we're going to have this wine. And that's not what helped him at all. It was actually Charles Woodson giving him some advice in the locker room. But that started a tradition of having like a good bottle of wine.
Because you said that, it led to Charles to give him good advice. So
That's
you
right.
put it in the universe.
Okay. I'll take
You know,
it.
the
How did you
DBs
get
are
into
savvy.
wine?
Let's talk about your journey into the NFL, getting drafted by Green Bay Packers in 2006 in the 4th round from Boston College, what that journey was like. And then, talk about your professional career a little bit and what you're doing now.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I grew up in Providence, Rhode Island, and I don't know, I was just a true, like, diehard football fan. Like, I collected jerseys, cards, whatever, you name it. I used to write pen pal letters to players. Like, I was crazy. I remember the one person who wrote me back. The one person who wrote me back was Desmond Howard. He wrote me back when he was on the Lions. So he sent me a picture back and everything. So
makes sense. You became a returner.
This is pretty cool. No. I remember the 96 Super Bowl versus the Patriots, his kick return. He won MVP, and that's kind of like, I was like, that's dope. Just always grew up. I was a huge Barry Sanders fan. Like that was the guy I admired watching, him and Lawrence Taylor. And obviously Dion. And what's funny is when I was in middle school, I was a big Charles Woodson fan. So that's why it was so funny that ended up on the same team. So in high school, in Rhode Island, like not a huge school for football, but ended up becoming a big time recruit because I started going to camps. And so that's kind of how I got noticed. Played in the All-American Army game, first team US Today, like just pretty much all the accolades. I ended up going to BC. I picked BC just because I felt like they kept it real with me the whole time. You know, I took all my visits. I almost went to Wisconsin, ironically.
No way.
But yeah, I just went to BC and it worked out. And yeah, at BC, it was funny because I was corner my first 3 years. And my senior year, I remember coach asked me to move to receiver. And I was like, there's no way, because I was, I was one of the top rated corners. And then, because in high school, I did everything. I played offense, defense, special teams. I did everything in high school. And I was also getting recruited as a receiver too by some teams. And so I just remember I was like, okay, I already knew like I'm probably going to get drafted. I don't know what round, but I probably am. This is going into my senior year. And I was like, there's a lot of guys in our team where they probably aren't. They're probably going to go to Wall Street and this is it for them. So I was like, you know what? Let me go to offense. Let me try it out. And then hopefully, we'll go to like another bowl game or have a good season. And it's funny. I went to try it out in spring ball, right? I freaking win the X job. And so the X receiver is the guy. Okay. That is, It was Greg Jennings or Jordy Nelson. Okay. Devontae Adams, X, him, that person,
that guy.
I won that job and it was cool. Yeah. That guy, it worked out for me because, I had Matt Ryan as my quarterback. So, I mean, and the ball was on the money every single time. And then it was interesting that going into the draft, because I played both. I remember I went to the Senior Bowl as a corner. I went to the Combine as a receiver.
What?
And then I interviewed as a returner. And then I stayed after the Combine to do defensive back drills. It was the craziest whole deal. But yeah, it's just funny that going back to when I was a kid, like I literally thought the NFL wasn't possible. I'm like, I'm like, there's no way.
That's awesome.
Well, because I didn't have like a direct source or like a path like this. Like I'm out here in California. I mean, I'm walking around my kid's school. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, there's a NFL player I can touch, and he's telling me exactly what he did. I didn't know anybody or any of the sort, no resources. And so, but what I did understand, I understood competition, you know? So the closer I got to, you know, like when I got to college, still didn't know about it. That's the first time I met an NFL player. I think it was like Willie Green, who went to the Browns. And then, so it was pretty cool that's how it happened. Like I dreamt of it, of course, but I never was like, this is what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? So it was pretty dope for that to happen. So yeah, to get drafted by Green Bay. And it was so funny because the only time I talked to Green Bay, it was for like 20, I think it was like 2 minutes. It was Coach Jimmy Smith grabbed me in the hallway.
Oh, I love Jimmy Smith.
Yeah, and Jimmy grabbed me in the hallway and he was like, draw me the route tree. And I was like, all right. So I drew for him. And then that was it. That's the only time I ever talked to Green Bay. I thought I was going to go to Kansas City or Miami. I thought it was one of those two teams. And then I just remember my phone rang and I saw 920. And I was like, where the bleepers Green Bay? I was like, no way. I was like, I'm going to Green Bay. I don't know if I was happy or
you got to look on the map. I was right? Like, you got to find the map.
Huh?
You got to find the map.
No doubt.
Like, all right, I got to make sure I know where it is.
Green Bay was. Yeah, I knew where, and I was like, I knew where it was, but I didn't really know where it was.
Exactly.
And so I remember I was like, I was already like annoyed because it was fourth round. I saw a bunch of guys go before me. I felt like I should have been before them. And I was like, yeah, they really. And then George Kuntz, he's the one that called me.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey man, he said, yeah, we're gonna come get you right now. We're gonna come get you right now. And I was like, all right, let's get it. So, and then it was funny because when I got drafted, I saw that we also signed Charles Woodson. So I was like, that's crazy. So I remember they were like, what number do you want? And I had a choice between 21, 24, and 27. And that's like the pick of the litter for like defensive back, those numbers. And I was like, I really wanted 24, but I was like, well, I don't want to have to like argue with Charles over 24. That's what he wore in Oakland, you know? So I was like, I'll get 27. Show up, he's wearing 21. I'm like, oh, great. 24.
Of course, right?
But yeah, that's kind of how the football journey was started. And yeah, just to get into it, but right before you got there, Mace, I already dealt with crazy adversity and injuries. I remember my very first day of minicamp, I was covering Greg Jennings and just snapped my foot in half. That's kind of how it started.
Oh my gosh.
And then I remember just having the surgery, sat out all training camp, came back the first week, and I remember I collided knees with I forget who it was. It was one of the running backs. Noah was a running back. Noah Herring was a running back.
Noah Herring.
And Noah Herring. I went to ice my knee, and they left the ice on. You know, you ice your leg and you kind of get numb a little bit, and then eventually it thaws back out. Yeah. Well, what went numb was my nerve. My nerve was frozen. And so the peroneal nerve that goes to the big toe. So I had drop foot for like 6 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
Wild. So I didn't even play to start the season. And then eventually my foot came back, finally played against the Dolphins. That game, it was in Miami. It was like 120 degrees, which was nuts. It was the floppiest football of all time. We were just like, oh my gosh, let's get out of here. And then came back, we played the Vikings, and then I remember I got blindsided and fractured a rib. So this is my first season.
Jeez.
Right? Just
oh my gosh.
Outrageous. And then the next year, when you show up, remember I broke my thumb in training camp. So I remember wearing a cast for a little bit. And then I remember we were going to play the Bears. Season restarted. We were about to play the Bears, and I was going to start that weekend. And we got these new Nikes, and I was like, oh, I'm wearing Reebok, but I'm going to try these Nikes on. I remember in practice, broke that foot in practice.
No.
Oh yeah, listen, it was.
What were they?
Wild.
Which Nikes were they? Did they have a little like diamond,
Huaraches?
The diamond heel Like it kind of had like a diamond.
Nah, they were I don't know. They were the Nike Hirachis. That's what they were.
Okay.
And I was like, come on, man. So I remember going up to see Ted. He was like, well, it's not fully broken, so we're not gonna put you on IR. Like I trust that, like you'll be fine. And then I remember I came back. I think my first game was not the Raiders. I think it was the Rams. We went to St. Louis, but then it was the Raiders. I think St. Louis, that's when they had the blizzard. We went out there.
Yeah, that's right. It did snow like crazy. My parents were
full on blizzard. But we played the Raiders, and that's when I kind of redeemed myself when I had like those 2 touchdowns that game.
Oh, but talk about 2008 and talk about like the season you had, because that's when you really took on the returning job, and you had punt returns and returns for touchdowns. Obviously, it was a 2007 Oakland game where you had the punt return and the fumble return for a touchdown, right? Only one,
right.
4 players to ever do that. So talk about that transition. All right, that game towards the end of that season, going into 2008, and like that kind of, in a sense, being like probably a turning point, and especially in like the return side. And you you played all 16 games that season in 2008, correct?
How about that? A clean bill of health, for crying out loud.
Right, exactly. Made it through.
I'll tell you what. Listen, I'll tell you what though. I don't know if you ever talk. I haven't heard much. I don't know if you talk about it, but listen, listeners here, we witnessed during training camp one of the most epic kicking battles of all time. Okay.
It was hard. Okay. Man. That was a tough one.
No, epic kicking battle. I think it was that's when we still had 2-a-days.
Yep.
And I remember, was it you and Billy? Was that who was kicking? You
it was Dave Rayner.
It wasn't Cundiff, it was Rayner. And I just remember like they were throwing stuff at you. They was spraying water when the holder was. Oh, it was wild. Like, and then I just remember you just foot right through the ball, boom, just like stone cold through the uprights, and we were like, oh shit, okay. Like you were just stone cold, man. And it was, I tell you what, you may not know it, but like I swear when you were doing that, like the respect meter was like through the roof. It was like, okay, Mason's not messing around right now. Okay. We're doing everything with Gatorade bottles. We're sogging the world. It was crazy.
I mean, literally down my back as I'm like getting ready to kick, like all the defensive linemen, everybody, just water going straight down down the back of my shirt. And then it was that.
I'm pretty sure.
Was crazy. What was crazy?
I'm pretty sure you and Nolan were doing that at Putt Shack the other day.
We did kind of do some of that. Intense. Yeah. It keeps going. We keep paying it forward.
No, good.
Very intense around here.
Yeah, but just going to that 08 season, it was pretty cool. That's where I finally met Shauna.
I remember her.
Got your life in order, yeah.
All I have to say is I've never been anybody that beautiful and that nice. Like usually you're one or the other. Like you're either super.
You know
nice,
what? It did work out.
So nice.
It did work out where she's. I mean, right. Like you would think otherwise, but yeah, she's a warrior. She's a wizard. But I just remember finally, like feeling good this year. Had a really good off season. I just had another surgery to fix that foot. I went to a different doctor this time to fix that foot, and it just was like, all right, I felt good. I remember I was training in Miami, and then I remember coming to California to hang out with Shauna and know her, and yeah, I was just tunnel vision, just ready to go and excited to come back. I thought like, now this was Aaron's first season. Like he's the guy. Like we got through all that far stuff, and finally, like it's Aaron's team. And yeah, I know overall, like the season wasn't how we wanted it, but I just felt like yes, I finally got to be healthy. I remember the very first game was that Monday night game, right, versus Minnesota. Mm-hmm. And the funniest thing was this was Shauna's first game. Like she knew football, but she wasn't like a diehard football fan like that. Like she wasn't. She wouldn't know who I am or anything. And I just remember like I wasn't fair catching shit that game.
You were running.
Get it.
And I just remember I remember McCarthy was like, yo, what is he doing? Because Mike was all about field position. He didn't care about nothing else. He was like, just get the good field position so I can run my offense, right? Or get good field position so that we can at least get position so Mason can do his thing. And I remember, the cool thing, like back when I was there too, is like we always had a Hall of Famer or someone, a Packer legend on the sideline. We always had somebody there. And so for this game, it was Robert Brooks, who I remember watching him when he was on the early 90s. And he was like, you good? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. He was like, you don't look like it because you're out there going crazy. And so I remember little did he know, like my girlfriend's in the stands for the first time watching me play. And I'm like trying to do my thing.
Showing off.
And he was I at Monday Night Football too? Are you kidding me? Yes.
Yeah.
No big deal.
And finally he was like, look, I'm gonna give you a secret. He said, number one, obviously field the football. He said, but just get the first 10 yards. That's it. And I was like, okay, then what? He was like, just get the first 10. He said, think about it. If you get 10 to 11 yards, you're probably going to lead the league in return yards, an average.
That's good advice.
He says, and he said, and it's a first down. It's positive yards. I was like, cool. So I get the first one, fair card. Next one, I remember I got like 8. Next one, I got like 10. And I was like, okay. And every time I got like 8 or 10 yards, I come back, McCarthy's pat me on the back, like, good job. You feel the ball, you got yards. And then the next one, I caught it. Boom, I got 10. And then I kept going. And I was like, I'm about to be out of here. And then sure enough, hit the sideline, cut across the field and scored. And I just remember I felt bad because everyone was trying to celebrate with me. And I just ran right to the stands and I gave Sean the football. It was so funny.
Smart man.
Nice.
Worked.
I mean, he was thankful and didn't move the needle, I'll tell you that much.
As you get into the league, you get these moments, these little glimpses of guys kind of giving you that inside track.
Yeah.
Did that happen with wine? Like, why were you at a vineyard in Virginia, like during training?
Well, I will say this, Molly, like
did somebody like shepherd you that way, or?
Well, I'll go back to football. I want to say like
okay.
I did have a mentor. Like my dad was a diehard football fan. My dad was a coach. My dad played semi-pro. I think he had a tryout with the Jets one time, but he and I were like together. So he always taught me things in football, which is great and would help me made it to where I am. My father, Wayne.
Why you played offense, defense, and special teams. You had all the football knowledge you could possibly need.
Just play football at the end of the day. That's it. That's why I tell these kids, just play ball. If you can play ball. When it came to wine, let's get to the wine. When it came to wine, I had it in college, right? Like when you start off, right, it's the sweet wines, the fruity wines, right?
And you're like fancy. You're at Boston College. What did you study?
English.
Perfect.
All right, so tell us this journey.
Okay, so then why did you go, like, didn't you help harvest in Virginia?
No, actually, Matthias Kiwanuka was my roommate, who defensive end, who first played for the Giants. And we had this like small wine rack, and it was like, I think it was like Menage a Trois, right? The red blend, Meiomi. We had, what else was it? Oh, Casal Garcia. It was like a $5 Vino Verde, which is so bomb. I actually found it at a store in Hawaii like 3 years ago. I was like, no way. This was my first white wine that I liked. And so that's kind of how it started. And then when I got to Green Bay, I was like, yo, I can't bring my wine shit here. That's kind of like, this is Green Bay. This is beer town. You know what I mean? Like I gotta get my beer game up. And I did. Did I ever? I lived right upstairs from Ned Kelly, so it got real.
Ned Kelly. Awesome. That's funny.
So it got real. I can just fall downstairs and I am by the tap. So that was a good time. But then it was cool because when obviously Charles was there the same year, people asked me about like Ricky Hayes. I'm like, he didn't do anything to us. If anything, he took us out to dinner. That's what he did. Like we would go on road trips and he'd be like, hey guys, leave your suits on. We want to go to dinner. And I'm like, cool, and you hear about all these dinners, flipping the bill. He took care of everything. And so that he kind of just like, he showed this like different level. And then when I found out like he had his own wine and that he was like legit in the business, I was like, it's really cool to see an African-American athlete that I look up to who's in the wine space. Cause I thought the wine space was untouchable. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that's kind of for me where it kind of opened my eyes to like look at it a little more deeply and kind of appreciate a little more just because of what he's doing. And then also, I got to know a lot of, important people in Milwaukee. I will go down there a lot, do a lot of appearances and connect with people. And I connect with this commercial real estate company, and they would always do like these really cool, intimate dinners and invited me to one of them. And I remember they were ordering like this crazy, I remember looking at the wine list, man, why are they dropping this kind of wines? And obviously it was Burgundy what they were getting, you know what I mean? And
okay.
And I was a big lone diner in Wisconsin. Like I would go to a restaurant on my own and like I want the experience. Like I want to know what's up. And I went to one restaurant where it was in Milwaukee. Can't remember the name of it. It was like some small, hard to get into place. And I was like, I'm gonna order this Burgundy. And they actually had Burgundy by the glass. And so I ordered it. And homeboy comes over, sommelier. He's like, "Here's your wine." And they called me Mr. Blackmon because every restaurant had the roster, right? So they all knew who we were. So you walk in there, and I was like, "Yo," I said, "This is not Burgundy," and he's like, "How do you figure?" He goes, "How you figure?" I said, "Because it's white." I was like, "All right, Mr. Blackmon." He said, "I'm gonna show you some things," and so that's when he told me about Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Burgundy is a region. They don't put the variety on the label. So that opened your eyes. Yeah. Instead of me feeling like stupid, I was like, "Oh, that's actually pretty cool." I didn't know that there's many layers to it like that. Like France doesn't put the grape on the bottle; that you got to know what the grape is based on the region. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how it got started, and me want to know more. I would hang out at certain wine shops and get to, taste when the distributors would come in, and so I just kept connecting bit by bit.
Okay,
so that's how I got started in Green Bay.
Would you say white wine or red wine? Which one would you choose as offense and defense?
Oh, offense is white wine. There's no question.
Okay.
Yeah,
explain. Finesse. All right.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
So, well, because white wine, you get a lot of complexity, a lot of minerality. Definitely levels of acidity. Different kind of fruit based on like the temperature, the climate, like where it's grown. Like if you take a Chardonnay that is in warm climate, you'll get probably more tropical notes, or even a Chablis, which is Chardonnay as well, which is a stainless steel, more lemon, more green apple and that right there. So there's just so many layers. And I say that because I remember when I was going through all these exams, which we'll get to in a bit, I remember I called one of my mentors, actually his name is Michael Jordan, but he's a master sommelier, Michael Jordan. And I told him I struggle with high acidity white wines. And he was like, cool. So we went over all of them. We did, Grigio, we did Gruner, obviously some Blanc. Chardonnay, we went just through the whole gamut of all that stuff. And so that's why I say offense, because it's a lighter wine. You don't think like aggressive, but you think complex.
For us, Kohler isn't just a brand, it's a part of our story. My dad was an exclusive Kohler dealer, so I grew up knowing their commitment to quality and design.
And for me, I helped open Lodge Kohler in Green Bay, and we've celebrated some of our best memories there, like my 40th birthday at Black Wolf Run.
Kohler, Wisconsin and Kohler properties have always been our favorite places to relax, connect, and of course, enjoy great wine together.
So it feels full circle that Kohler Company, boldly innovating for over 150 years, is now part of Crosby's crew, bringing extraordinary moments to everyday life. Cheers to that.
I'm like curious how you pack a lunchbox. Like, you don't do anything like halfway, I'm guessing.
What do you mean?
So like you like wine. So you have to go to WSET certifications, become a sommelier, and I'm not on your level, but it's why I like wine. Like I can't relax if it doesn't have me thinking on lots of levels. So I'm just assuming that you approach everything in your life kind of in this kind of I don't want to say high intensity because you're really not a super intense person. Like you're not overwhelming, but just like maybe you pursue mastery in all things. How do you feel about that statement?
Yeah, I would say I think being the youngest of three, I'm just curious. That's what it is. And I think too, even like with our son, when I talk to him about like sports and stuff, I'm just like, I said, I think I became who I was because I was curious, like why does Barry Sanders move like that? Why does Dion cover like this? Why does, I played basketball, until I was 16 from age 8, and I never had lessons because I used to watch people on TV. Like, how does this guy do this? How does this guy do this? Like information.
Curious.
Exactly. Just curious. And so for me, I got so curious about the wine world. It wasn't a matter of like, I went laser focused and was like, okay, I'm going to be hyper intensity and do this. I just curious,
So if white wine is offense, you chose to make a defensive wine in your Blackmon red blend. So is this just like one of your favorite embodiments of wine, or how did you narrow down to this 2022 vintage of your red blend?
Yeah, I knew instantly that when I finally make a wine, I wanted to make a red blend. And it's funny how I got to make a wine. I remember I first watched that documentary Psalm.
Yep.
And that's why I said, that's crazy. Like, where did they do that? And one of the people on the video was Master Sommelier Peter Neptune, and he had a school right by my house here in California. And so I remember this now, fast forward, I think I'm on the Redskins now.
Okay.
And I was like, I need to do that. Because I don't come from a wine family. I kind of knew what I knew, but I never had like some formal instruction on this is what it is. And no one really taught me, And so I went and took the WSET level 2 and ended up passing that with the merit. And then once I did that, it just rocked. It just rocked me. Like, this is crazy. So now when I go into these supermarkets, I look in the aisle and I see the wines. I was like, oh my God, I know this. Or even when I went to Napa finally and I drove Route 29, I was like, damn, I know all these vineyards because this is what I seen. And so during that's when I found out about Virginia, and that where we practice in Ashburn, Leesburg is like 15, 20 minutes away. And so I was like, I'm gonna go to these vineyards. I'm just gonna drive and check them out. Curious Will. And I remember I went to Doug Fabioli Cellars, and I just pulled up. And he was like, what's up? And I was like, I just want to look. I'm curious to see what's going on here. Curious again. And I was like, I don't know. It says, is there a way I can like hang out, help out, like do whatever? And he looked at me, he was like do what, And I was like, whatever it is. He goes, well, you know what? He said, come back tomorrow and like, we'll talk about some stuff. And I was like, cool. And so everyone, and the next day Kick showed up, we already had practice inside. But what's funny is it's like downpour, it's raining. And I'm like, this guy's a farmer, so he knew it was going to rain.
Did you show up in your galoshes?
No, I showed up.
Was he testing you?
He was testing me because I pulled up. He knew he saw my Maserati. So I pulled up in that thing in the gravel, mud, rocks. And I was like, oh, this guy set me up, So I pulled up in that. But I did have my boots. I had some Columbia boots, duck boots. And I went in there and I cleaned the tanks. I cleaned the vats.
But here's my question is, right now we're like, I don't know, I'm guessing you're following the Olympics pretty closely. So when we look at these like Olympic athletes, right, you have like, they have to qualify and then they have to make it through the semis and they have to keep going. But like, would you say your time at that Virginia vineyard was like your qualifier, or was that like your WSET qualifications? Like,
no. It was
did you
just
about
good.
It that way, or did it just happen?
It was just good to just check out a place. It was good to like hear about it and then go see it. Like, that was kind of cool. For me, the exams was like the qualifier, the WSET, the quartermasters, the going to Sonoma State, But after I did all those things, I was like, okay, now I want to get into this space. So I took all these, I would say exams, courses, what have you, went to school, and then I want to get into the space. So that's when I started the Wine MVP. And so the Wine MVP, it's a wine concierge program that helps elevate your wine experience. So like, like, okay, David Bakhtiari, we did his trip last summer to Napa. We did his trip. And the year before that, Randall Cobb, he took Devontae and all their wives, and then they did a whole.
And that was you.
That was me. Yeah.
I saw these things on Instagram.
Yes, you did. So we do trips, dinners, events, tastings. And so when I first started, I didn't have any of that, but I did have a connection to a wine shop. And I was thinking like, what can I do to get started? And I was like, maybe I can see if my friends have cellars, they want to buy wine. So the first person I call Reggie Bush. And he was like, I just moved to the home and I have nothing. So by all means, he was like, have at it. So I ended up getting wine for him. And then I called Matt Ryan. Obviously, he's a big wine guy. And so that's kind of how I got started, just me in this wine shop. And then at the wine shop, started a wine club. And so just to get wine in people's hands. And then I think what happened for me is there was an article that came out in USA Today Sports. It was on the front cover of like what I'm doing. And I remember I got a call from Stan Kroenke, the owner for obviously the Rams and Avalanche and Nugget. Keep going, you know. And his people reached out about what I'm doing. And Drew Bledsoe actually called me next because he thought it was cool. I got so much support. So that's kind of how the Wine MVP got started. And yeah, it's been dope. And then to how Blackmon Cellars came about, I end up, I got the LLC like maybe like 10 years ago. I just got it. I was like, one day I might make a wine. You never know. So I did this
tasting. Forward thinking.
Yeah, I did this tasting in Boca Raton for about 200 people and just a legit like wine tasting class. And I just remember at the end of the tasting, this lady was like, hey, are these your wines? And I was like, no, they're not my wines, but they're in the club. You can buy them at our site. And so I remember as soon as I said that word, no, I like lost her. I knew it because she wanted what I was making. So that's where I was like, all right, got to do it. So I connected with one of my buddies, Malik Amrani at Vice Wines. And he's like, yeah, dude, let's do it. He was down to help me. And I knew immediately I wanted to make a red blend because that's kind of like one of the first wines I started drinking. I think it's an easy wine to like. And I think that it would be a good crowd pleaser. So
tell us about your blend though. Cause I'm like a glass of wine with dinner and I'm usually pretty good. And this bottle is a little emptier than I meant it to be for this podcast. So
she doesn't do that when I'm home.
It's like, it's very approachable, easy drinking. Like I like that it doesn't like, it's not real abrasive at first sip, but it definitely has, I feel like the complexity or the curiosity that you've been hinting at all episode. So like what inspired you? What's the blend? What's in it?
Yeah. So I wanted a Bordeaux blend. Usually they are Cabernet Sauvignon based. But this one, I wanted to go with Cabernet Franc because I wanted more of the aromatics. That's what I wanted more.
He's a total Cab Franc guy.
There you go. I wanted more of the aromatics, some of the violets on the nose. And then I did still add a good amount of Cabernet Sauvignon for the structure in the body. I added Petit Verdot for the spice and tannins. And then I finished it with Malbec, just to almost like a...
That's what
like
that
snuggle,
is.
right?
Yeah, the Malbec.
A snuggle, a wine snuggle.
That's like what I couldn't
so it's about,
like pinpoint there was like that, what that other thing, like you're literally speaking my language. Cab Franc, Petit Verdot, and Cabernet Sauvignon are obviously go-tos. And then I'm like, there's something though that I couldn't like figure out, and it's probably the little bit of that Malbec.
Yeah, so like the whole idea was I wanted it to I still want like a full body wine, but I was like, I want a wine that you don't need food. You can just like, usually I get big wines. I'm like, I need a steak. I need something with it. I need something heavy to mash it. And this one, you can just come home, sit down, crack open. You're good. You can even like chill a little bit too. And it's still dope. So, and I was happy for my first one. For our first one, I was like, this is dope. So I was actually
This is an easy reorder and an easy gifter too. It felt slightly floral, but I also smelled some vanilla.
Yeah, so that's about.
It feels very Valentine's to me. This feels like a love wine. Like it's like I'd rather get this than a bouquet of flowers. We're not real big Valentine's people, but
Yeah. Yeah, that was the whole
Great.
deal. I'm fired up about this. And so, yeah, already. So I was just in Napa, and we were already working on a white wine. So that is
The
fun.
offense takes the field.
Shauna's making it.
Ooh.
You heard it first.
Perfect.
I accept that. I look forward to the
Yeah.
name. And will it be the same label or have it kind of
Same
like its
label,
own?
but it'll be called Shauna's Blend. It's the same label.
Oh.
But no, like legit, we were like making a mess, being scientists, like playing with the percentages, doing this and that. Like
that's so
it
great.
wasn't. I wasn't just like, hey, I want this, and you do it. I was like all hands on deck,
I
like
love it.
doing.
What excites me is how you keep letting your curiosity lead you into totally different avenues.
I just want people to enjoy wine how I do, and it's just through experiences and connecting with people. It's fun. Like honestly, it's like it's a passport in a glass, right? You take one sip, you smell, and you're just like wherever you are.
Transported.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, and here's the thing too for wine. I kind of fell in love with it the same way for football. Like I grew up watching old NFL films. I grew like John Facenda's voice, Sam Spence composing. Like that was me. I was diehard, watch all that stuff. And so and you know, watching guys who paved the way for us to play this game. And it's kind of how it was too for wine. Like once I really got to understand like the history of what's going on, that it's the farmers, it's the people, it's geography, it's climate. Like it's really about that before it becomes what it is. Like there's such rich history with wine alone, and I think that's super cool. So even when I go to Napa now, you know, every time I go up there, they're like, "Oh, are you going? What vineyards?" I'm like, "Dude, I went and had a cup of coffee with the global director of Opus. We just went
Oh
and
my
had coffee.
gosh. Okay.
Yeah, we just went and had coffee and hung out. There was no like, I didn't have a glass of wine. I didn't even go to the vineyard. Just he and I just met over at you know, a coffee shop in St. Helena, and that was it.
I hope it was Model Bakery because those English muffins.
We had coffee.
I don't understand. I don't drink coffee, but I don't drink coffee, but I eat English muffins. I agree with you. Like where you say it takes you to a place, for me, wine is like time in a glass. And like it's the thing that's fleeting, you know? So to have more of it, to have that moment that you can go back to understand that a glass of wine is expressing like the climate for that year and the soil for that year. And it's super engaging to me. And I like nothing more. And I think we need to bring you to Tennessee because
I love
we could
Tennessee.
me too. And we could do all sorts of fun things here, showcasing your curiosity and how it invites
game.
other people into the conversation. How do you want people to interact with your brands, with your vision? I know you have this like travel component of wanting to take Southern California people easily up to Northern California, like so we can all join the wine club. How do we interface with your vibe around wine, which is both somehow this crazy dichotomy of like completely all in, but also completely approachable. Like it doesn't feel intimidating, even though you've got your, you know, certifications and all of that. How do you want us? How do you want others to engage?
Engage with me in general.
Your wine businesses, or just wine?
Yeah, it tastes like, you know, strawberry, whatever, and she loves it. By all means, good for her. You know, people want to drink this, they want to drink that. That's all that matters. Now, there are ways to like elevate your experience. You know, hey, if you have this from this vintage or from this person, this is what happened during this year. This is this person's great grandfather. This goes well with this. If you really want to like go down that road, then there's ways to do that. But at the end of the day, I mean, don't care what you drink. You know, like really, but really stay true to it. You know, if you go to a restaurant and they have a sommelier, like let them do their job. because they did all the homework. They did all those flashcards, which I still have in front of me. They did all these crazy things, and it's a cool experience when you have a good Somali and he knows what he's doing, and it's like, that's cool. Because I used to be that guy, like, let me see the menu before we go so I can get there, and like, oh yeah, let me get this. Let me like really show off like I know my shit. Like, no. Now, if I see something I know what I want, then cool. It's hard now for me to order wines because I'm like, I know the retail for this damn wine.
Okay, so kind of basic level, people could join your club and get to try wines that you curate.
Don't even join the club. Just buy Blackmon Cellars.
Okay, yeah. Blackmon Cellars is delicious. White wine is coming soon.
White wine and Pinot is coming soon. Yeah.
And then how could people contact you for wine MVP experiences? What can we do in Tennessee? So obviously we could reach out to you and be like, hey, we're going out to Napa. Wine is the total goal. Can you help us curate this? Or you'll also lead dinners, tastings abroad.
Yeah, it's honestly
abroad.
Honestly, it's whatever. One MP is whatever they want. Like I just got asked to do a dinner. Actually, I got asked on Sunday to do a dinner this Saturday with Chef Keith Corbin and Padma Lakshmi.
Oh my gosh, she's my favorite.
Yeah, so we're doing a dinner. He's gonna obviously cooking, and he's gonna tell his story, and I'm gonna be pairing the wines with what he's doing. So I was just at his shop, his restaurant. Alta Adams in LA, and I got to go into the wine shop, pick the wine. So it was a fun day.
Okay. Wow. Your life sounds very fun, but it also seems like you're just back at the beginning. Offense, defense, special teams, you'll play whatever. Like it doesn't matter. You're versatile.
That's it.
Just ask away.
It was funny. That was the issue at the draft is like, they were like, he's good at everything, but he didn't like really master. But the fact that he was good at everything allowed me to play so long. Because every time he came down the roster cuts, I took up like 3-4 spots.
Is it unfair to ask, what was your favorite team?
Well, it was Green Bay. It was by far.
That's easy.
It was by far. Okay. Because here's the thing. I love New York, and to win a Super Bowl in New York City is like crazy, right? And that was a fun team. That was a great team. But it's something about when you're in Green Bay. It's just us. It's like college all over again. It was just us, and that's why you mentioned all the things that Mason did. Yeah, guys hunt, guys did this, guys played. I mean, I was like prestige in Call of Duty. Like that's what I was. Like,
gosh,
oh my god, I was that good. And to Charles Woodson lived upstairs from me, and like we would go to Coco's and have sushi. And I know people are like, you got sushi in Green Bay. I'm like, yes, this place is fire. Believe it or not. just like we all, when you go home and it's like, all right, let me call Tremont, right? Let me call Patrick Lee. Let me see what Nick Barnett's doing. Let's call each other and go eat food or go to some. We used to go to Best Buy and we used to stay there till 3 a.m.
Stop it. Are you serious? Please tell me you bought something.
No, we just play games. I mean, listen, Molly, hold on.
They probably loved it. They
did love it, but we were actually, that's when you still had to buy CDs. And so we bought we used to go.
Okay, you're dating us. All of us right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Buy CDs.
We actually had to go and shop. So we used to battle on we also wanted to buy classic movies. Like we used to collect classic. I still have the CD case. It's somewhere around here. All the old movies I bought that day. So yeah, it was just that hang out and go to chain restaurants. Like it was just simple, it was simple. Mm. So I loved it for that. Because when I went to New York, it was
less simple.
We saw each other and then guys are in the city. It's like that. Now guys would go hang out, but it wasn't that easy. I couldn't just turn around and boom, I'm there. So I love the simplicity, the fact that it was just about friends, family, and football. That was it. Because I was all about friends, family, and football.
To me, that sounds a lot like being about wine, right? You're just there for the experience.
But that's hard. Everyone's not like that. Everyone's not like that. That's what's hard in the wine space.
Okay. Fortunately for me, that's pretty much all I gravitate towards. Like, I just want to have a great glass of wine and a good conversation and like go to bed by 10. You know, that's a great night for me. Just to slow down, connect, have a good talk, all experience the same things, maybe a little different. Like what I taste might not be what you taste, and it's fine. Okay, if you went on a wine vacation right now, where would you go? Anywhere in the world.
I don't know. You know, I want to go to Chile because our friend Christian has that winery called Vic Winery, VIK.
Okay.
It looks crazy, and I like empanadas. But
What wine would you drink with empanadas? Is that like a Tempranillo?
His wine.
What do you do? His wine.
His
That's
wine
the
is-
right answer.
His wine
What
just got
they
100
make
points
right
too.
there. 100-point wine.
I met him a long time ago, and he was making his wine, and then I think he literally, I'm trying to look it up. I swear he just got 100-point rating like the other month, like
So
recently.
do you straight up equate that with a Super Bowl win? 100-point wine?
Absolutely
What's
not.
the football equivalence? Did you say absolutely not?
Absolutely not. There's nothing like it.
Nothing like winning a Super Bowl or 100-point wine?
Yes, Super Bowl.
I'm really glad you both have that. Happy
Yeah.
for us.
There is nothing. Oh yeah, how about that? There you go. Vic Winery is the #1 winery in the vineyard in the world right now.
One of the best things about this podcast is how it connects our love of wine with the people and companies who share that passion.
Like Perlick Refrigeration. We first crossed paths through Mason's work with Sartori Cheese and Make-A-Wish, where Mason met Jeff Schwager, who's now on Perlick's board and an investor in one of our favorite Napa wineries, Ovid.
Perlick has been setting the standard for wine storage for over a century, and their wine refrigeration is second to none because great wine deserves perfect care.
We're proud to have Perlick as part of Crosby's crew, keeping our wine at the perfect temp, from the first pour to the last drop.
So to close us out, would you please tell us kind of what if you're not curating for a client or a friend or a teammate, what does your kind of quintessential wine experience feel like just at this point in February? You in California, what's your quintessential wine experience?
I don't know, I just want to sit at the table and just like, okay, I had a awesome wine experience. So what I did was I went to a restaurant in Austin, Texas called Birdie's. Okay. Birdie's, according to Wine Spectator in 2023, was the #1 restaurant in the country, right? It's this small, tiny, like hole in the wall place, a couple. And actually, I think, Arjov, the wine curator, he got James Beard Award this year for service. I think the restaurant got a James Beard Award in general, and his wife, who actually owns the restaurant, her name is Tracy. She is like a crazy wizard. So I went there for South by Southwest, and I did a panel. It was myself, Channing Frye, and Andrew Zimmer, right?
Andrew Zimmer?
Chef Andrew Zimmer, yeah.
Okay.
So when that was done, Chef was like, hey, I got this dinner. Tracy Ezekiel wants to cook for me. Do you want to come? I was like, absolutely. So we go to the restaurant. It's just he and I, and she literally just cooked everything on the menu for us. And we had Arjov pair everything, wines with everything that she made. And so it was her, it was Tracy, it was the full staff, everybody, and Arjov, like just literally just doing it. Like that's what I like. I like that. Yeah, that's what I just like. I just like a cool, just informal feast. Like I brought my family up here to Napa for Easter weekend.
Sounds
and
lovely.
a bunch of all the chefs and masters all the chefs and sommeliers, they all know each other. They probably all work together, train together. They've met up at this guy Desi. He's one of the actual master sommeliers that lives in Napa. They all met up at his house, like in his backyard, like you grew up in there, you know. And you have chef. He's roasting, you know, full lamb, like rotating it and what have you.
I love that.
And this person's cooking this. This person is cooking this, and obviously Desi is a master somm, so he has like the craziest collections of wines. And so we're just there, you know, drinking, you know, first growth, you know, wine from France out of like Solos. Like it was just like it was
very authentic.
I love it.
Yeah, so drinking first
Zero
growth.
pretension.
Yeah, first roast out of like Solos. Well, I got a piece of lamb in my hand with some bread. Like I'm in Jerusalem. You know what I mean? Like,
It's awesome.
it was cool. And like the kids are over there like doing their thing, and it's total chaos.
Here's a good idea. And that is for you to come out to Tennessee and for us to go to Bad Idea, which was just named one of the top wine lists in the nation.
You set it up. Look at you. My God.
And we could do an Instagram live, just like we did at Henrietta Red. Let's just run it back. Just come on out, Will. We're ready.
Just all your dining extravaganzas.
I will tell you, Will, here's a little teaser, is that we're either about to massively renovate the house we're in and change the space behind me to be the total wine wall, or we're going to have a new space that needs curating. So the invitation is there. Obviously, we'd love for Shauna, all the kids to come.
You're going to have me come over, and you're going to ask me to watch the kids. And
No. They're old enough now. All right, listen to this. We'll close out with this. I'm going to pass. Well, your kids are probably all self-sufficient. We have an amazing system that we've got working right now. So we pay both of the kids, and we split them into the little 3 and the big 2 is how we do it currently. So when we go out at night, they get paid on a sliding scale that they judge for each other. So if the big 2 get a favorable report from the little 3, they get paid for watching them for the evening. Extra money for clean kitchen and folded and loads of laundry. If the little 3 get a good report from the big 2, they also get paid. And by the way, it all costs mom and dad like a fifth of what a babysitter would cost. So I feel like don't worry, you're not coming out to babysit. You're coming out to hang and drink wine and possibly plan out our wine spaces.
Sounds good.
I would love to have you and Shauna out. Get your wine. Bring your wines. Let's get those things rolling in all the country
bring
clubs,
your kids.
And restaurants. And we'll let the kids kind of run around and do their thing, and we'll go out and have amazing food and amazing wine all around Nashville. So I appreciate you, man. It's always great catching up, and we got to do this more often. It's been awesome. It's been like 2 times in the last couple of weeks, so we'll just keep running down this space together.
Great, let's go. Oh, you know who I was with this weekend? And I was with Tony Mole.
No, you weren't.
Awesome.
Yes, because his daughter plays basketball, and he was like, "Hey, are you going to be in this area?" I was like, "That's our home court."
Nice.
So literally, his daughter's playing right here.
All right, sweetheart. You wrap up our show, love. Crosby's crew. This was awesome.
Just a great thanks to Will for taking time out of his very, very busy and exciting, but definitely chill, just curious life, to let us know what's going on in California, how we can be a part of it. And honestly, in a month filled with Super Bowls and Olympics, and we've also got Valentine's Day, I do feel like this Blackmon Cellars red blend fits them all. I would challenge everybody to decide for themselves, right? Because there's no right or wrong answers in this. Just do you enjoy it or not? So we just like to cheers you for taking time for old friends, old teammates, and looking forward to, hopefully some of those most valuable memories being in the future. I think that's my favorite part about wine, is it's all about looking forward to what it could be And for me, that mindset is what I love about wine. Is it's a promise for the future. So cheers to you, buddy, for taking that fancy education and that, very first wine club and spinning it into something that's so much more.
Molly, cheers the mirror for crying out loud. Cheers the camera. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'll take that forward to future episodes. Appreciate that. All right. So find him on Instagram, on his website, Blackmon Cellars.
Just go back at Will Blackmon. Everything's there.
Thank you so much. And until
thank you,
next
guys.
time.
Who you share it with.
Well, that's it for this pour. Thanks for spending time with Crosby's crew. If you tried one or all of the wines from today's episode, we want to hear about it. Head to our socials and let us know which one was your favorite and why.
Curious about what we're tasting next? Check the lineup and send us your questions. We'll be answering them in the upcoming episodes. Nothing's too nerdy or too simple. If you're wondering, someone else is probably wondering too.
And hey, before you go, just a reminder that drinking and driving is never okay. Please enjoy wine responsibly. Always have a designated driver lined up before the bottles open and consume in moderation.
Until next time, cheers from the crew.